talent here?
No, we lost good players. We don't have a 90-man roster, right? There's 53 guys. I mean, it's not like you got a minor league system where you're got a huge stable of guys backing up the starters. I mean, it's thin roster. Every team is. You're hoping you can stay as healthy as possible. So, I mean, we're living in a little bit of a fantasy land now of thinking that there's a whole bunch of guys waiting in the wings.
Do you feel like that's really caught up with you, especially in the last couple of weeks?
I thought yesterday was we knew the game was going to be like that. We knew it was going to be low scoring. We couldn't turn it over. We did twice. We had an opportunity on a short field when they fumbled. We didn't take advantage of it. We had a really bad series, and we missed a field goal. So we knew the game was going to be 13-10, 14-10, somewhere in there if we were going to win it. Everybody looks at Jacksonville's record, forgets they were in the AFC Championship last year, forgets their top 10 defense. I mean, we knew what kind of game it was going to be. We did, the people that actually study the stuff. So, outside of that, most people don't realize that.
You were addressing the depth a minute ago and the fact that you don't have a 90-man roster. But looking strictly at your first stringers, was there any overestimation of them?
The guys that are or aren't playing.
The guys that you had at the start of the year, for example.
I mean, there's a reason why we started 3-0. Because all those guys were there. And then when we started losing guys throughout the season, we're trying to patchwork things, and we had a little time there where we're trying to get really used to the guys that are playing. So we had shuffling some lineups. That's what happens. And we kind of had some good games where, guys starting to gel a little bit, and then we have another wave where we got to switch some things around, and we just kept trying to adjust with what was going on.
Coach, you've always been Ryan's one of his biggest fans, but it's not all on him. But just your disappointment that he's not maybe where you wanted him to be at this point, in his career, especially being on your system for these years.
Yeah, I think really for us, the biggest thing is just our consistency as an offense. It's like we'll have New England game, and then we'll have yesterday. We'll have Minnesota. We haven't found any consistency in the entire offense. And, everybody's always going to blame the quarterback. We just need everybody doing their job, and then you can really evaluate the quarterback, where we really haven't had the consistency we need on offense to even look at what is Ryan really. Nobody helps him, and then he starts to try to do more than what he should, and then that hurts him.
As you look ahead, are you comfortable with the idea of Ryan as your quarterback, say, next season?
I'm not looking ahead to anything right now. I'm looking to Buffalo. That's the way the league is. I can't worry about next season, off season, all that type of stuff. We need to finish this season out the right way, which is we got to go on a road trip, go play a team that knows us well, that we know well, and it's going to be a tough game because they're going to want to play well in their last home game, and we have to be prepared. And we got 3 days to get ready, and we got to go to work.
I know you said obviously you're not going to lobby for your job, but do you think you'd be inclined to give Steve Ross a plan of how to fix what went wrong?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for 3 years. It is what it is. We had a lot of good things going on. We lost some players. It happens. It's the NFL.
You mentioned after the game yesterday regarding the battle in the trenches, you said that Jacksonville was more physical than you were. And then you added, we knew that coming into the game. Outside of changing personnel, or is there anything you can do to rectify that other than changing personnel?
Well, we didn't play the way that we needed to play for that game. We didn't play as physical. We needed to make sure that we played at the top of our game against what those guys were, that defensive line. We had to go out. We had to run the ball a certain way. We had to make sure our double teams were good. We couldn't get moved on those. We had to make sure we were the ones moving them. And we started out the game better than what we finished the game. We executed our double teams. When you got two guys hitting one guy, you're going to get movement. And then when we're kind of taking bad angles and we're getting split because we're not hitting at the same time, then it was bad. And it cost us because our running backs were getting hit in the backfield. You know, a lot of times I know you want to say it's personnel. I mean, really, a lot of it is fundamentals, techniques, things like that. That's what can help you. That's what helps you overcome when you're playing guys that might be a little more talented than you. But we didn't do that yesterday. That's why we've won some games here, is because we've used the things that we've talked about in practice and meetings. And sometimes we don't always do it.
For the Buffalo game, well, it did be business as usual then, Adam, as far as who plays and how you
Yeah.
manage your players?
Yeah.
So Ryan will go.
Yeah.
Adam, because obviously injuries were a big factor, if I'm hearing you correctly, do you believe that without question you deserve a fourth year as coach?
No, that's not my choice. I do my job until somebody tells me different.
Adam, your 15-game snapshot of the season, can you?
I don't know. I'll let you know after the next game. We'll do a 16-game snapshot.
Just a couple player things on a more uplifting note. Jalen Davis had some good moments, his first extensive action. What impressed you about him, and is there anyone else you'd throw into that group of guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that you watch him in training camp practice. I mean, he is one of those guys that just gives you everything he has. He is not afraid of anything. He'll go out there, he'll execute the defense, he'll play aggressive. I mean, he's not the biggest guy that we got, but he's aggressive and he can make plays, he can tackle, he can get PBUs, he can get picks, he has really good ball skills, he plays multiple positions. You know, he was a guy that we were excited to see get opportunity. You know, it was good to see, you know, Steph and Mike get out there and play with that group of linebackers. And, you know, we had a lot of guys that had to step up yesterday on defense because, you know, X and Kiko not going, it kind of was unfortunate. I know Kiko tried. We didn't feel good about it.
And with X, had you thought going to the stadium yesterday he would play?
Not going to. We felt better about it on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday than we did Saturday and Sunday.
And what do you do with X this week? I know you said business as usual.
I mean, if he can go, he's going to go. I mean, we're going to try to win the game.
And so along those lines, Jay Cutler, I guess you could say last year made a business decision, the final game.
No, that was my decision.
That was your decision,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, we talked about playing young guys and all that stuff, but I'll never do that again because that's, you know, I'm not going to hear about 6-10 again. So I'd rather go 8-8.
So Ryan obviously starts.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.